Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Relapse Tackle. Kind of excited. I got a new custom bug molds made up based off of the spinnerbait that I used before in my previous videos that I modified. So I kind of want to share that with y'all, show you what they did and stuff. So I worked with them a little bit on the design. I wanted to have the lead bait keeper, just the one point, like a lot of other jigs have. I didn't want to screw around with adding the WB800 or WB400 bait keeper, so I had them incorporate the lead bait keeper in there, and then one collar for the skirt. So, and then make it a little bit longer. So it was a little bit of a process to get it how I wanted it, but it all worked out, and they were able to help me out and get it made for me. So I have it sitting on top of the leaf pot warming up right now. It doesn't have handles. They do make molds that have handles. You can get any one of them that they make with the handles. And kind of a neat trick too, using the vice grips like this. For the ones that don't have handles, then you're going to want to wear gloves too if you're handling them at all. So I don't have my light on this guy, but this is not on their website or anything right now, but they added a lot of vents to it, so it should flow nice. Like I said, the one bait keeper way down here at the bottom, the one collar holder there, and then they made the flat spots for the 3D eyes how I wanted it. So and then what I did with the wire is take my flush cutters. They have this little spot right there towards the bottom, and you're able to, if you want, to pinch the wire on for your wire form. Put that in there all the way, and then you can kink it closed without cutting it. And then what I did is I actually added a small kink. I don't know if you can see that or not. There's a small kink right here, so that this lays in the mold a little bit nicer. So when you're dealing with custom molds, sometimes, you know, you have to do custom things to make it so that everything flows right and works right. And so you want to just lay your hook in there. This is an owner hook, the 5320. And then a 0.40 wire form, and that is for typically around your ½ ounce. Sorry, I'm struggling because I'm wearing gloves. This mold is pretty warm. I had it, like I said, up on the heat, and I want to drop this. All right. I'm shaky because I'm excited, and I did a lot of work today in the heat, so I should probably rest instead of messing with this. But I want to get it done. So I'm just holding the hook, and then the wire form should stay close to where I want it. Okay, and then there's a wing nut for the other side. The wing nut, sorry, all this stuff is off camera because I didn't move it over like a dummy. So tighten that up. The hook's going to move around a little bit, so I'll make sure that it's held straight as possible when I pour into there. And then, like I said, clamp that on there. You don't need it super tight, just tight enough to hold it. I'm actually gonna set this up here for a second and move the camera over. My leaf pot's dripping a little bit too because I got the heat cracked up a little bit higher than I typically run it, because spinnerbaits tend to require a little bit more heat. So I want that hook to be as straight as possible. I'm actually going to put a little bit in the other side and then fill up that one. So hopefully that first pour ever in this mold is good. And then they do have these little notches here and here so that you can separate the mold a little easier. Yeah, it didn't pour all the way. I didn't have the wire form or the hook warmed up. So, and that's my bad. I should have let them sit a little bit and warm up. But before that lead sets up, you can typically cut it off pretty easily so that you can still use that hook and wire form all over again. Hit it with a torch too. That works as well. I would usually have a few of them bent up ahead of time and just set this one aside and worry about it later. But I did not plan on doing a video because, like I said, I've been working all day. Kind of tired. I think it was around 112 degrees. See, that other side poured perfect without the hook in it. So we just need to get things a little warmer, and then it'll pour good. I've been thinking about doing some live streaming videos. I don't know what you all think, if it'd be a good idea or not. I don't typically do a lot of editing, so I don't think that would be a problem because I don't cut a lot of stuff out like a lot of people. I'd rather show, you know, the struggles and stuff versus just making it look like everything's super easy when there's difficult things all the time with a lot of stuff we do as tackle crafters. A lot of the stuff is not the easiest, and that's why you see so many people selling off all of their stuff. They bought all this stuff and then they're selling it all off because, you know, it's a lot of work. It takes time. It takes time to get good at a lot of this stuff, and you know, a lot of people don't see the struggles and stuff. They think, oh well, it's easy, I'll just do that myself. I want to clear this spout a little bit. I jiggled it there towards the end. That might not have poured either. Hope it did. Hope it did. So let me know in the comments though. Dang it. Alright. I gotta get this mold hotter. And I did turn the lid down, or the leaf pot down a little bit, but I'm just gonna take my gloves off and grab some more hooks. And this is a little thicker wire than I planned on using. That might be part of the reason why it's pouring a little bit more difficult, but we'll get it figured out. Before you pinch these too, make sure that the hook is facing the right way, because it sucks pinching them together and then they're facing the wrong way. And then to kink it, I just take these little smooth jaw jewelers pliers, just add a little tiny kink to it, and that, and that's just going to make it so that everything lays more straight in line with that smaller head. But since it's a half ounce head for a 1/2 ounce spinner bait, and it's stretched out, so it got kind of narrower, a little skinnier in the head, so it's a little harder to pour because it's so small. Like I said, that wire form's not heated up, so I'm going to pour on the other side, get the mold a little warmer. Let it sit top of here. It's hard to get it to set up there sometimes without the handle. That leaf pot is leaking like crazy. I'm going to turn it up to 7. And since I have my exhaust fan sucking all the fumes out, I'm not really worried about it, and I don't feel any heat around the outside of this at all. So I know it's doing a pretty good job at sucking all of the fumes out. I don't know if that's warm enough or not. Try to really get her down in there quick. I don't know if that'll work or not. Might have been cooling down a little bit too fast. Darn it. Oh, son of a gun. Alright, so claim defeat on this one. The wire's probably too large, or the, something. So we're just going to put some dry graphite in it. Hate doing it to a CNC mold, but it's not pouring all the way, and that's all it takes. Warmed up, just spray it. It'll set up a few seconds, dries. Okay. We hit on the mold like that. This is going to be really hot. Careful not to burn yourself. Been welding and fabricating my whole life, so don't actually feel the heat too well anymore. I got a couple fingers that have such poor circulation. Okay, let it cool. Now you can't see me pulling up the handle, but there you go. Pretty good. See, after putting that dry graphite on there, look, it's flowing through the vents and everything. So that's all it needed, was a little bit of lubrication, and it's flowing perfect. Now I can go back and just snip these guys off with the flush cutter, clean it up a little bit. I'd rather have them pour like that every time. So that's why I use dry graphite all the time on my molds. because it helps so much. It's very well worth it. And then I scrape the nose of the jig a little bit where that screw was cut off. So that's all it needed, was a little bit of help. Being that it's such a skinny jig, it's super narrow. It looks amazing. And then, like I said, it has that flat spot for the eye. So get yourself some of this stuff, though. It's so worth it. And coat it a little bit, and it'll flow real good. Now, that wire wasn't heated up. The hook wasn't heated up with the dry graphite. The mold was hot, obviously, but it shot right through there like nothing. So that's awesome. So, and this is out of the original mold. See how the size difference there? So that pours much easier because of the size, a lot wider. The lead can flow around the hook and the wire form a lot easier. So the smaller the jig, the harder you're gonna, or the more issues you'll have pouring. So, like I said, it's a good idea to have the dry graphite. All right. So. Alright, so I'm going to edit out a little bit of that video because I said a couple curse words because I was getting a little annoyed that it wasn't flowing right, but I should have just trusted my gut and used this dry graphite a little sooner because it would have made it flow perfect, and then I wouldn't have had all them issues. But being that it's a new CNC mold, I'm like, man, I really don't want to get this thing dirty. But it's my mold. I'm not going to sell it to anybody, and I don't mind. I don't mind that black stuff being on my mold. People set up their molds all the time with candles. I prefer to just use this stuff, shoot it real quick in the mold, and if you get a little bit on your bench top, it wipes up. Use a little Clorox wipe or whatever, and it cleans right up. So I'm going to pour up some more of these off camera, and then, like I said, now that it's flowing right without the wire form or hook being hot, it's shooting right through there. So I'll have a little bit of cleanup in the flashing where it goes through the vents and stuff, but it's not a big deal. I pour up a bunch of these, go back, clean them all up, and then start painting them with Stardust. So yeah, check out Bug Molds and the Stardust. Check out Lurecraft, Lure Parts Online, and then don't forget to give this video a like and share it with your friends. And if you haven't already, subscribe for more, because a lot of times I'll put posts up or pictures up or little inside thing in the community posts, and I don't think you see those unless you're a subscriber. I might be wrong, but could always use more subscribers, more people watching the videos. So if you have any input, be sure to drop some in the comments, and then if you have any questions, obviously I'm always willing to answer them the best I can. So ask away, and I will try to answer them. So thank you all. Tight lines.